a real life instance, like a very small one of from your recent day-to-day life?
I think I did discuss about it recently in the classes with students as well. Being aware does not mean that you stop feeling emotions, right? Or stop feeling angry, or you stop feeling disappointed, or you stop feeling irritated. It's just that you are aware of the fact that this is not me. This is an emotion that I'm experiencing. And that's what awareness does to you, right? For example, recently when, in as in my postpartum period, when recently in the last 3 months I was going through a lot of things. Days become hectic, you don't have your own routine, you don't have your own schedule at all, your body is not the same, right? And so many hormonal changes are happening in you, and your external environment has also changed, with a new human into your life. So it's very natural for you to feel disconnected or sometimes angry, because what you want, you are not just getting it. You want a schedule, you want a routine, but you're not just getting it. So awareness helps you understand that this is temporary. I don't need to feel miserable about it. And even if I'm feeling miserable, something within you tells you this will be fine very soon. Something within you brings you back. Brings you back to the stability. You are not lost into it. You are not gone into it. And this is what awareness does to you. So ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझे इमोशंस महसूस नहीं होते हैं। मुझे बिल्कुल बहुत महसूस होते हैं, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम मुझे पता है कि इमोशन मैं नहीं हूँ। ये मेरे अंदर से कुछ आ रहा है और जा रहा है। ठीक है, मानो कि एक चादर है जो आपने थोड़ी देर के लिए लपेटी, अब वो चादर आप उतार भी सकते हो। आप हमेशा उस चादर के अंदर नहीं रहोगे। That's what we need to understand. It's like changing your clothes every day. You are not your clothes, right? They are yours, rather, I would say, right? You wear them or you don't wear them, it's a choice.
But then when you are an accepting person, is it like for from other people's perspective who are not able to deal with the situation, then you are an easy person or you are an ignorant person as well?
You are?
You are an ignorant person as well, just because you are able to accept it and move on from it.
No. The one who is in acceptance is living the life to the fullest. They are not in ignorance. So, honestly speaking, ये सब बहुत philosophical बातें लगती हैं, लेकिन जो इसको सच में एक्सेप्ट करके करने लगता है ना, उसी को ही ये बात समझ में आती है। बाकी तो कहते हैं कि हाँ हमने पढ़ा है, बहुत सुना है, हमने किया है, लेकिन ये हमने सुना है, किया है, कैन ओनली चेंज व्हेन यू स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग इट। और ये पता है हमें कैसे समझ में आता है, जब हम इसको 5 दिन, 10 दिन, 15 दिन, 20 दिन प्रैक्टिस करेंगे ना, तो क्या होगा कि हमें एक मोमेंट ऑफ रिफ्लेक्शन मिलेगा अपनी खुशी का। जब हमें समझ में आया ना कि फाइनली हाँ हमारी खुशी इस एक व्यक्ति पर डिपेंड नहीं हो रही है और हम इसे लेट गो कर पा रहे हैं, दैट्स व्हेन द चेंज स्टार्ट हैपनिंग। बट एक बार तो आपको ये करना ही पड़ेगा कॉन्शियसली। दैट्स दैट।
You know, can you help us out with a practical solution in a way that, say, if I'm in a situation, I'm very angry, I'm very sad, I'm in an extreme emotion right now, which I'm not liking. What is that one practice that I can do to suddenly get into that awareness? Or how do I don't want to say how do I control it, but how do I come in control of myself for acceptance of that emotion? In that
See,
truth.
a lot of great sages actually talk about be with that emotion. Now, what does this mean? When a certain emotion is consuming you, Shri Krishna says any emotion that comes in a huge wave, okay, it dulls your buddhi. First thing that it does is it weakens your buddhi completely. It dulls your intellect. Your decision making will never be the right when you're taking a decision in an emotion. Okay, that is why a lot of saints, when you go and sit next to them, they talk about how you should allow that emotion to be. Okay, suppose मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आ रहा है, instead of immediately reacting, I would just notice the fact that I am angry, but I don't want to react at the moment. So tell yourself you don't have to react at the moment. Honestly speaking, what will happen after 1 hour, the intensity of that emotion will automatically reduce. Then the next hour, it will automatically reduce. Then maybe after 3 to 4 hours, 6 hours, when the intensity or the wave has reduced, that's when in that moment you will be able to make a better decision. Now should I go talk to this person? Now should I avoid because it's a waste of my time? Or should I just simply resolve something inside me which is causing so much unnecessary anger? These 3 windows you will see clearly. But when you are in a particular emotion and you want to react in that moment, the reaction will always be with a lot of force. Okay, just take example, when you are hungry, anything that is served to you, you will start eating immediately because you are hungry. Like that, emotion also comes, because hunger is like a wave. You have to eat something. You can't think what to eat. Whatever is given to you, you will eat. Later, you will regret. Why did I eat that? Same way with the emotion. All of these things in our body comes like a pranic wave. And the more we learn to not react in that moment, the better we will be. We will save our energy actually in a better way.
I remember you having a lot of awesome videos on your Instagram. Okay, way back in few years, a lot of, and now suddenly I see you speaking a lot. So, are you still not doing asan, or what's happening to that? And how is yoga happening with your body and mind now?
How do we know we are growing in our yoga practice? From wanting to do 100 asanas to wanting to do one asana. That is progress. Stiram Sukham Asanam. Okay, it is said in yoga. Okay, you do so many asanas so that you can do one asana. And when that one asana you are doing, meaning now you have the ability to sit, to connect to the deeper aspects of your life. And the more your pranic body grows, the more the pranic body becomes shuddha, or the subtle purification happens inside you. You will never go back to the same stiffness that is there. Okay, so what you're talking about, the videos or the content about more asanas, was when I started my journey, right? And I see that now, for me, I don't need to do those 100 asanas. In 1 hour time, I do 5 asanas. That's all. 1 hour time. But when you do those 5 asanas, every asana, you sit for at least in that asana, you practice thirita. And you spend at least 5 to 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. So I would say that my Instagram content is literally my growth journey in the yoga sadhana in itself. Like if you go back to those, from here, what I'm feeling at the moment, I share. So you will see different things. You will see different things there. Okay.
And what is that one thing that you're not shared, say for example, on your reels or in YouTube, that you've learned recently with the asana that you mentioned, that you're just doing one asana for 10-15 minutes? What has changed within you that you have not shared until now?
I think I'm changing very frequently, every couple of months. Every couple of months some change happens, some realization comes. And in a way, I would say that every day there's an opportunity to change, because something or the other gives you a lesson every single day, every 24 hours. So yeah, I have actually not shared a lot of aspects of my sadhana on Instagram reels, because you just simply don't share them. You don't share everything. You don't speak about everything, because the more I talk about them, the more my mind will chase those experiences, and that's a blockage in the sadhana.
About sadhana, uh, it's it's like a butterfly. It's fluttering around, but the moment you want to catch it, you just run away. So, how do you, like, what have you realized about that butterfly? And yeah, so if you have to describe your sadhana as butterfly, then how do you tell people that what we should do with that butterfly?
See, butterfly can also be in stomach, right? That is the relationship you have to have for sadhana. Not the butterfly outside you want to catch, but the butterfly inside your stomach that gives you a feeling of happiness and joy and wanting it, because it's something that you feel inside. So there is a butterfly outside, and then there are butterflies inside your stomach. So your sadhana is literally that butterflies inside your stomach, which you don't need to catch, but you need to feel. That's what is important. So once you start practicing under the right guidance, and you do it for a certain amount of time. So one powerful tool that I would like to give to anyone wanting to walk the spiritual path and bring discipline in their life is to seriously follow the path of Anushtan. Okay, Anushtan is something that you take one practice and you do it for a certain amount of time. For example, one particular practice. Let's say you decide to do Surya Namaskar every day, something as simple as that. But you take an Anushthan that you do it for 21 days or you do it for 40 days and do not miss in between. Then after 40 days, you don't have to take Anushthan for it. Now it has become a part of your life. Why? Because all of those days when something or the other tried to stop you, you chose your Anushthan. Because now you promised yourself, you took a sankalp. And every single day when you managed your mind, when you spoke to it every single day, no, I have to do it. Now by the 40th day or 41st day, your mind has already learned to say bye-bye to those excuses. So Anushthan is a very powerful tool that can actually bring any kind of discipline you want in your life with a lot of ease. So you don't do all of the things together. You pick one, but do it straight for 40 days. That is going to change, bring you more neural connections in your brain and mind.
What is Anushthan and what do I do in Anushthan?
Anushthan is nothing but any practice you pick up. Any practice. Of course, the practice has to connect to your consciousness. Somewhere it is moving you or bringing some sort of physical discipline in you. Okay, physical or subtle discipline in you. So Anushthan is nothing but a sankalp that you take. Right? For example, you say you want to do 1000 mala jap or 1008 mala jap. Now you take an Anushthan that I will do it at a particular time every single day. And then you sit at that particular time taking your mala. So it's like taking a sankalp that for the next 40 days, no matter what, I will not skip this particular thing. No matter what. And this is what we call Anushthan. So any sadhana that you want to build is built beautifully with Anushthan. You break it in parts, you pick one thing, you do Anushthan for that, and then once you're done with it, now you pick up the next practice and do Anushthan for that as well.
So, what's the primary difference between Anushthan and Sadhana?
See, Anushthan is something that you can do on your own. Sadhana is something that is given to you by your teachers, by a guru. Okay, that is why a lot of people take sadhana very lightly. कुछ भी कर रहे हैं and they calling it sadhana. Right? Sadhana is very specific, very particular. Something that is working on your consciousness. Something that is very deep. Okay, you don't call doing 20, 30 Surya Namaskar every day as sadhana. Because you are moving physically, you do not know if your consciousness is moving. Now here, Anushthan can be of anything. But sadhana has to work on your mind, has to work on your consciousness, has to work on your inner being. That is what is sadhana. And that is why it should be guided, it should be given.